Yeah, Mira is asking about that experience, if you couldn't hear her question. It did feel like Jesus was inside. But you know, I think a lot of us feel that way. We feel that way through the faith we had as kids, and maybe don't even think about it too much anymore until maybe something happens, and then, you know, this is just, I know it sounds so pedestrian, but this has been coming to me so much lately, that Jesus meets us where we are. Every single time. And actually the reason it came to me is because, you know how you get kind of tired of people judging you know? And it's like, I want to just say, hey, Jesus meets me where I am. You can meet me where I am. You know? We can meet each other where we are. You know, you don't want me to say, hey, you don't need to feel bad about that. You know, Jesus is going to have your back. Well, I'm sorry, but I want to bitch about it right now. You know, I mean, but there's relating. You know, Jesus lets us have that relating way of being. You know, it's like you don't talk to Jesus all that much about your happy days, you know. You might say, you know, your gratitudes and your thank yous, but when we really want to implore the divine is usually when we have a heart, something is troubling our hearts. And we would never, ever be told, buck up. You know, I think of it like being a mom. And to me, you know, you can see it sometimes in people who haven't been parents. And so the child comes in with a skinned knee. And that's exactly what you don't say is, oh, buck up, that's not so bad, quit crying. You know, you say, oh, that must have really hurt. And you look at it and you hug them and then you say, let's put a Band-Aid on that. That's not so bad. You know, I mean, that's kind of the way I see Jesus working. And even in the Course, when there are these like tough lessons, you know, that are kind of harsh, he always also is talking about how much he loves us. Yeah. Yes?
You find some things come to you, like I would say, a hologram or essence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know another better word.
Mm-hmm.
All that essence.
Yeah.
It's so much more than any words can convey.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's much of what I'm talking about is new ways of knowing, because I think A Course of Love will take us all there. It will take us to these new states of knowing, which are like, one of the ones that I experienced during the receiving of A Course was in chapter 31. And I heard the words, well, the words "in truth" are said many times in that chapter. And it's sort of like this recitation. And I italicized those words because as I was receiving them, I felt that I was in truth. And I can't describe that hardly at all, but I was in truth. And that's kind of what you're talking about. And yes. And then I had another one where I felt I was inside God's knowing. And it was like, it's like these things we know. And the thing is, I think a lot of people have a hard time because then you can't think about them. This is the thing. It's like if you start to try, you have this sense of knowing. This knowing has entered you. It has entered you. It has touched you. And you have that sense, and then you try to bring it to your mind. And it's like, it's going to disappear. Almost certainly it's going to disappear because it just isn't, it's like it can't be known in that way. And so you kind of learn to hang out with these things because there's a part of us that knows this is more true than anything else. This is so true. Yeah. You had a question? Pause. Were there pauses for chapters and to talk about the sections that are in A Course of Love. So I'm going to start with that part. Book 1 is simply the Course. There are four treatises that make up Book 2. And the Dialogues has a 17-page chapter narrative and then a 40-day and 40-night experience. And everybody who's read the Dialogues is an experience. And during the first book, not so much. It was kind of but it was mainly. Jesus never said chapter 1, chapter 2, not ever. So the first book was more run-on, and so I had this team, and we divided it into chapters and gave the chapter titles. But then it was in, I think, the first treatise, and it was funny because that was the first time the words began to come when I wasn't at my desk. So for the whole first book, it waited. I was at my desk and I was ready, and I was doing the dishes one day, and it was like I started to get this, and I was like, oh, hurry up, get to my desk. Forget the notes. So there was more chapter titles were given in the remaining. The 40 dialogues, definitely all of them, but there were more given in the treatises. It kind of grew into where it was going that way. Yes, her question. She said I talk a lot about longing and desire, and wondered if I felt that everyone had to get to sort of a fever pitch of longing and desire. And I definitely do not. But I talk about the things I do because I don't think too many, first because they happen to me, but also because not as many people talk about them. I think we hear a lot about peaceful states of being, and that can make us discount the things that aren't peaceful. And longing and desire is not necessarily peaceful. It has a soulfulness about it. It can have a sweetness about it, but it can also be lonely, and it can also, so. But if I look at my life, and I was talking to John Mark Stroud today, and he has had many very happy, uplifting experiences, and mine are all more of the deep, little, not disturbing, but just personality. We're different. We're all different. And so I just don't want anybody to discount their one. If you're peaceful and happy and you're getting your messages, you're not going to probably doubt that. But if you're feeling like you're in this period of yearning and desire, you might think, well, what's the matter with you? Because you don't know. It's like there's an unknowing. We hear about the cloud of unknowing and this, all through the ages, kind of things like this, but when we get to unknowing, we don't want to stay there. It's like, let me get out of here, let me go find the answer, stuff like that. So I think it keeps us there. And I think there's a big difference between willingly and willfully. And I think there's a little bit of confusion sometimes there, that people want to direct their own way. And when you are waiting when you've got that yearning and desire going, and you're waiting for that to be met, it's like you have to have something come to meet you. And you have to have that willingness to receive whatever it is. You don't get to decide, really. If you're going to be called, that's going to happen. And a call is going to ask you to change. And that's a hard thing. I have no idea where I'm at on time. Thank you all so much. You were a lovely audience who got interested. It was fun.